one of the things I think is neat about this particular project is that Uplands was just named a green school, and this is made out of all recycled material. So I think that it is a really neat opportunity for kids to see things like, you know, this is actually not fully assembled because I wanted to drive it here. But this is an oatmeal container. And so these are things that kids see every day and how you can take those things. And the other thing is that every kid at Uplands starts out doing invention in kindergarten, right? If you started in kindergarten at Uplands, you brought in all sorts of stuff for invention, and this is a way to do that. So let's talk about construction, because to me the biggest challenge is going to be the construction. There are 4 different components. This was one long tube. 4 different components. So if there are 450 students, and each one requires 4 or 5 pieces, you're looking at 1,500 to about 2,000 separate pieces to go into the number of sculptures that would need to be used in this school. So if you're choosing this project, which I think is a phenomenal project, you may need to do a little advertising ahead of time. Please send Mary or Billy with a box or some yogurt containers. The other thing to think about is how you want to construct it. The instructions say to use glue. My sense is that if you use glue in a 20-minute session, that glue's not going to hold. I would really recommend masking tape. I think that it would work much better. This is spray painted. I would not advocate spray paint. There's some little boy I had to take home from a play date today who's going to need a new pair of shorts. So I would really recommend you use tempera paints. Now the challenge of tempera paint, of course, is there are things like yogurt containers to which tempera paint will not adhere. But we have lots and lots of construction paper. You could take a box and wrap it around the yogurt container. You could do lots and lots of things. So it sort of lends itself to a little bit of additional creativity of how you might cover a metal or a plastic thing. I do think that painting or coloring it gives it a tremendous amount of unity that you will not get if you just glue and tape boxes together. I do think putting some sort of covering on it is a really good idea, but spray paint is expensive, spray paint stinks, spray paint is permanent. Dangerous. It's dangerous. Stay away. So this is the first project, and really, you know, it's interesting because I thought it would take my kids forever to come up with an idea and apply it. And I mean, I actually think they did a pretty good job, and it really was within the time frame of what we normally have for an art literacy lesson. So I actually think this is a great project as long as you've got the materials.
Leslie, what about if they spent most of their class time like assembling it, and then I wonder if the teacher would let them paint it another time or something? Will they have time to like both assemble and paint? It's a lot.
Well, you gotta be able to keep it somewhere if you're gonna do that, because
Yeah.
that's take a lot of space.
There are
Yeah,
a number of choices you have. I am always really reticent to infringe on class time, particularly at this year when teachers generally feel like they got, 20 miles to go in 10 miles of time. So I would be a little bit hesitant about that, but I think you could, if you chose, decide to say, create it here and take it home and paint it. I mean, I'm not averse to that.
Does anybody remember doing this sort of a sculpture thing years ago? Any other? Are we the only 5 and 6 parents here?
We did sculpture
We
at
did
one point, but I
sculpture,
don't remember
but
what the
we
project was.
spray painted them, but we had maybe a couple spray paint colors, and we asked the kids, what color do you want this?
Yeah.
And we spray painted it
Outside. You can
later.
own that. Yeah, and you can do that. You could absolutely, as a parent, choose to have them create it and then you spray paint them outside.
outside, and
Away from the family. Emphasis on the outside.
I know we did sculpture, I know we've done.
Yeah,
I
that would,
remember
I think
spray
that would be a good idea. That would certainly be an option open to you, but I would not recommend students spray painting their own.